Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to go through a test to find out if mowing speed really does matter as far as the quality of the cut. Can you mow too fast, or is it better to mow slow? Stay tuned and we'll find out together. Let's get started on this test. So we're going to test mowing height for two different heights of grasses, we'll say. So right now, all my grass is roughly around 4.5 inches or so. So what I'm going to do in the white section is mow overgrown grass, we'll say. And yes, all the grass is the same height, but what I'm going to do to make it overgrown is actually adjust my mower height down 3 notches. So I'm going to be mowing this at 2.5. All right, so I had to change my colors behind me. So now I have white flag, blue, white flag, blue. This is going to make it easier to understand. So in these first 2 strips, what I'm going to do is mow overgrown grass, meaning 4.5 inch grass at 2.5 inches. And on the 2 right tests, this is going to be our normal test of cutting. So that's cutting at 3.5 inches, grass that is 4.5. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start on the left here. We're going to cut this 4.5 inch grass at 2.5 inches. Again, mower notch, 3 notches down. And then we're going to go fast. Now some of you may already be going at this higher than normal pace. Sometimes life gets in the way, and of course we just never get around to it. We end up rushing through the grass. Question is that hurting your lawn or not? Let's find out together. So this first pass, again, we're going to be going too fast. Then the second pass, we're going to go slow, below your normal rate, or maybe it's the right rate, we don't know yet. Then what we're going to do is raise the blade up on the mower to 3.5 inches as a normal cut, not overgrown grass, and then we're going to see the difference in cut quality. So here we go, cut number 1. We're going slow now. We'll go through the results all at once because you can tell that I'm going to have to blow this before we look at the results. So I'm going to raise my mower blade up 3 notches to 3.5 inches. My normal cutting at this time of year in spring. All right, next test. Testing at the normal grass height, but a fast pace and a slow pace next. Alright, so you guys can see this now. Hopefully you can see it as well as I can, as far as all this leftover grass that's just laying around. And this is your proof that the grass is actually overgrown, at least for your cutting height right now. So before we look at this, I'm going to have to blow it a little bit just to get rid of this debris so we can actually really have a good look at the cut quality. Alright, now that it's all blown off, let's take a look together. Alright, here's our 4 tests, or I should say 2 tests, but 4 cuts. And let's take a look at the fast cut to see the cut quality. So we can already see this little guy sticking up right here. There's a little unevenness here. It's not perfectly straight across. And we'll do a little crawl here. Got another little guy here, another decent amount of sections. I see like 6 or 7 standing up right here, and it's just not flat across. But you can argue the quality yourself, but from what I'm seeing, half of it's okay, but then another half is pretty bad as far as I hate seeing these stragglers that are just sticking straight up. So let's find out in our second test here if this slow method actually helped or not. So let's see. I have a little straggler right here. I got one more here. I don't notice any of the bunching that I saw on the first test, meaning where it was like a little big hump in the middle. Now if you're going that fast, part of me thinks that the clumping, where the blade is cutting the grass and recutting it, probably is having trouble because it's doing so much at once. It's doing so much grass. So let's find out. Let's keep our little crawl through here. So my neighbors probably think I'm crazy just crawling on the grass right now, but hey, overall, this is actually much better. I don't really see any other stragglers coming up, and I lied. This one here, kind of on the border, but hey, we'll say that it's a straggler. But overall, this is a lot cleaner cut than the faster one. So when comparing those two, I would argue that the slower cut actually worked better. And now maybe it's just my eyes, but hopefully you guys have seen the same thing, that when I was mowing fast, it seems to be that this is a little more browner than this side. This is a little more green. And you can see my grass is fairly consistently green all the way through. It's not fully green yet for the year, 100% as dark as I want it to be, just because it's still early April. The other side of my lawn, here I'll show you real quick and then come back because you guys love tangents. I already cut this side, but you can tell this side gets more sun than the other side. So it's April, so the grass is growing pretty regularly, but some grass, like this side of the grass, is growing much quicker than the other side of the grass just due to the heat. It's warmer. So I got more greening here. I did the single line stripes here. First time I've done a single in the front in a long time because I enjoy the double wide stripes. All right, now let's take a look at these two sections here. This test mowing a non-overgrown grass, meaning a normal cut of your grass at a high speed and at a low speed. I don't really see any trouble in here. Don't see any stragglers, which is kind of nice to see. Then that means technically if we want to, we can go faster as long as we're cutting regularly. So I love to see this. Hopefully you guys have seen the same thing when you cut. That is from a sharp mower blade. You don't want to see any brown on the top. I just cut this and you can see all nice color on top. No browning on top. That means it's a sharp mower blade. That's what you want. So I would say going fast when your grass is not overgrown seems okay, but maybe slower is actually better yet. Let's find out. Can't imagine how, but never know, right? So let's see here. And of course, yes, we still have our clean blades of grass cut here. Definitely gotta have that. So don't see any stragglers here either. I shouldn't expect to see any, to be honest. I'd be pissed if I had some, because mowing slow, especially, and at my normal cutting height, it shouldn't be a problem. So based upon these results that we just talked about, I hope you can agree that we've wrapped up this conclusion of this test. And as a quick recap, just in case you skipped over and buzzed forward, which, hey, it's no problem. I put all timestamps in the first comment and also in my description, just for you guys to skip along. Oh, a quick little recap in case you skipped ahead, fast forwarded, whatever. So the recap here that we found out together on this test is that if you're mowing an overgrown grass, you want to make sure you're not cutting too fast, because you saw the cut quality. It's pretty bad. I'd want to recut it, to be honest. So make sure you're going nice and slow. You'll get a much better cut. So when we compare these two, I would say there's always going to be stragglers if you're cutting an overgrown grass and you're doing it fast or slow. But clearly, if you're cutting slow for the overgrown grass, there's going to be only 1/10 of the stragglers versus if you're mowing too quickly, all right? So, of course, there's lots of other ways that we've talked about in other videos. Just in case you guys are interested also, a lot of you might be interested in this video specifically because your grass is overgrown or this is a frequent problem for you. So if your grass is overgrown, first thing you want to do, make sure your mower blade is sharp. You guys saw how sharp it should be. After you cut it, you should see no browning on top, or very little if at all. You never want to see brown or tearing where you see actual rips in it, because that's like an open wound for us, and that leaves your grass open for disease and infestation with bugs. From what I understand, it creates like a pheromone in the air that attracts bugs, and that's how you get insect problems, because you have tearing or a lot of brown, especially the tearing though, because it's like an open wound, like we would put a band-aid on. You don't want that. You want to sharpen your blower blade at least once a month, if not more. Of course, that's a real easy job though, but some of us, we have other commitments, or some of us are lazy, we're all in that boat, so we all fall in there one way or another at one time. So another way you can do it, other than having a sharp mower blade and clearly mowing slower for overgrown grass, by overlapping more on your cuts. So let's say your wheels came here on the first cut. The second cut, don't take a full cut at it, meaning a full mower. Only overlap, and go like that. So you're actually only cutting that much at a time versus cutting that much at a time. So that will help with the clumping and also the cut quality, because you're not cutting as much. And if you guys are really having a problem with overgrown grass, this last step or method is usually not a popular one because none of us really have time to do this, but the best way to cut an overgrown grass. So if your grass is 6 inches, well overgrown, you haven't been around or whatever reason, it's been wet and now it's just overgrown, what you want to do, the best way is to mow it twice. Basically 6 inches, you can mow it at, let's say, 4.5, and at 4.5 then drop it down to 3.5 or 3, wherever you're comfortable with your looks of your grass. Of course, we always say mow tall, but you never want to cut off more than 1/3 of the blade of grass. And I have a test video down below, you can check that out also, figuring out why it's not good to cut more than 1/3 at a time, because you're going to see a lot of ripping and browning on top, because the mower blade is not equipped to handle that. Of course, different mowers have different strengths and different weaknesses, different power, but all in all, I did the test on it. You guys can check it out. You guys can see what it's like to cut overgrown grass and non-overgrown grass to see the difference in cut quality. So that's your test, and that's your proof right there. And your other test here, so if your grass is not overgrown, we've already proven that mowing speed really doesn't matter much. You can actually mow it as fast as you want. I mean, I don't think any of you guys are going to be mowing faster than I just ran up and down there, right? I mean, of course, these mowers that we have nowadays, a lot of them have speed sensitive, they have gears or whatever you want to call it, but they all actually have, like this Toro, these have personal pace on them, of course, which means that just pushing on it, the mower will actually go forward. Of course, for us, it's a time-sensitive world. We're all pressed with time, and therefore we want to even push it even further past the mower capabilities. So that's usually not a good thing, but clearly it's okay in this case that we just tested. But if your grass is overgrown, definitely don't push it too much. All right, go nice and slow, take your time. Let's do it right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And I will mention real quick that this is the first time that you guys have ever seen a test in my front yard. And that's because I am working on so many tests right now in the backyard, I have no open space. Otherwise, you guys would be seeing sneak previews of things that you just shouldn't see yet. It's not right. It's not done. It'll be ready in a few more months. So they're long tests that I do. Hope you guys appreciate these and love these. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more.